This tutorial is for 6-2 Work Together. In this tutorial we learn how to do adjustments or adjusting entries, and that goes in this column called adjustments, and we have a debit and a credit column. Our instructions say, use the worksheet from Work Together 6-1. Your instructor will guide you through the following examples. Number 1, analyze the following adjustment information into debit and credit parts. Record the adjustments on the worksheet. Okay, what we've done is we've gone and we've done an inventory, and the supplies that we actually have in our facility total $325. I'm just going to grab a little piece of paper here to show you how things are going to work. Okay, so we have on hand value of $325. Now if we look over here, we say that we have supplies of $456. So this is what our account says. What has happened is, yes, we have purchased $456 worth of supplies, but we've used some of those supplies, and after we've used some, all we have left is $325. So how much did we use? We're going to do some subtraction here. We're going to take that 456 minus 325, and it equals $131. So this is the value of how much we have used. And this value is how much we're going to adjust our account. So if I need to get my supply account down to 325, and I know that difference is 131, I have a debit balance. In order to reduce a debit, I would do a credit. So I'm going to come over here to the credit column on the supplies row, and I'm going to put in 131, and I'm going to put a little letter A in parentheses because this is my first adjustment. Now, for every credit, I have to have a debit. So what we need to do is we need to say, hey, I've used this up. It is now an expense, and this is where we get to use our supplies expense account. Expense accounts are always debited, so I'm going to put 131 as my debit here. And the reason we do this again, I've used $131 worth of supplies. I want that to count as an expense. I want that on my taxes to reflect that that was all used up in order to make my business work, in order to operate my business. So it is now an expense to us. So I have a debit and a credit, so I have a double entry. Debits should equal credits. Okay, our next one is going to deal with prepaid insurance. I'm going to use this paper again to show you. Our account balance of prepaid insurance is $750. It tells us that our actual value of prepaid insurance after we have made payments to the insurance company is $500. So that means we have used part of the money that we have set aside for insurance. We're going to do some subtraction here. 750 minus 500 is $250. So this is how much we have used of our insurance. And if we have used something as a part of our business, we want to call it an expense. So we're going to come here to insurance expense, and we're going to say that we used $250 worth of our insurance. We're going to label this as a B. And then we want to go back to prepaid insurance, and I want this account, 750, to actually be 500 now. So to decrease a debit, I need to create a credit. of 250, and we'll label that with a B. Now we're just doing a couple of adjustments instead of a bunch like we would normally have. Once we have all of our adjustments done, we come down to the bottom and we single rule those two columns we just worked in, and we are going to make sure our debits equal our credits. So we'll total our debit column, and I get 381, and then I will total my credit column, and I get 381. If my debits equal my credits, then I double rule these two columns to indicate that my math is correct. All right, that finishes 6-2 work together. Now you can complete 6-2 on your own.